What's going on YouTube? OCD for EDC here, and what I got for your face balls today, we are talking about best knives of 2021. So a couple of days ago, I posted a video talking about my opinion for the best budget knives of 2021, and this one right here made the cut. This is the SRM Asika, and it is fantastic. This happens to be the large version. They do make it in a smaller variant, but it is a fantastic knife. And yeah, but today we are going to be talking about a little bit higher price point than the budget range. We're going to be talking about knives that are in, say, the, $100 up to $350-ish range. And I've got a couple of honorable mentions for a couple of different reasons. So, for example, one of the honorable mentions is this guy right here. This is the Hogue Ballista. Now, this is a knife that I was able to pick up while I was down at Blade Show in Atlanta back in June. And this is a knife that has not been released yet. It's a fantastic side opening auto from Hogue. It's got their Able lock. It's S30V, 4-inch blade, fantastic pocket clip. It's just a really great knife. Clip is reversible, but this knife has not gone on sale yet. So, technically it was made in 2021. However, they did not hit the market yet. So, although this is an awesome knife and I really enjoy it, I think the price on these were right around 300-ish, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I honestly don't remember exactly what the price on it was, but it's a fantastic knife, and I look forward to these going on sale. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy them. It's not a, it is a side opening auto, I guess, but not a ton of flair here, but just a really, really good, solid quality knife. Super good in hand, pocket clip's great, and yeah. So the Hogue Ballista is an honorable mention. The other one that I'm throwing out here for an honorable mention is the Monterey Bay Old Guard. This one here is an end-cut carbon fiber. They did offer this in a few different variants. They also offered it in a liner lock, which is super cool. This one here happens to be the tie frame lock. This is the large variant, 3.5-inch blade, 8 inches overall. Fantastic knife, especially for the money. I want to say these were $215. But the Old Guard is not a brand new design. So this was a new variant for 2021. But the OG had been around before. So even though this was new in 2021, yeah, the design was not. So therefore, not going to make the list. The other one is kind of in the same vein. And it's this knife right here. This is the Vero Axon. This is one that, again, the original variant of this came out, I think, in 2020, if I remember correctly. But this knife is really fantastic. This happens to be the lefty variant, and it is the liner lock. And this one also in end-cut carbon fiber. And this one has a DLC-coated blade. It's just a fantastic knife. I love the lefty version of this thing. It's really, really good, and yeah, deserves to be on the list. But again, wasn't a brand new model for 2021, although the lefty variant was brand new for 2021. All right, so those are my 3 honorable mentions, but let's get into the list. So as you guys can see, 4-inch blades are something that are kind of near and dear to my heart. Generally, I don't really like knives. I shouldn't say I don't like them. I gravitate more towards things in, like, the 3.5 to 4-inch blade range. However, all 3 of these that I chose for this list are smaller than that. So we're just going to go from the smallest to the largest. And the first one up is the Monterey Bay Slayback. This knife, honestly, really, really shocked me. I like this significantly more than I thought I would. The liner lock is tuned to perfection. It really is. I wish more people would do full titanium liner locks. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I would much rather have the liner lock than a frame lock. You know, it just frees up the entire frame. You don't have to worry about putting pressure somewhere, especially when you're left-handed. But this one here, the clip is not reversible. However, it's still just a fantastic knife. I mean, the action, the detent, it's just a cool looking knife. I really love the blade shape. So what we're looking at here, this is a ZDP 189 core, and you can see the Sanmai construction on the blade. And these things sold for $200, which was fantastic value for what you're getting here. Just, it's a great design, great knife, great action, good blade steel, cool. I mean, it's just a cool knife all the way around. And for $200, really, really fantastic. This thing has a 3-inch blade, 4-inch handle, full milled titanium pocket clip that works perfectly. And like I said, it's a great little knife. You know, 7 inches overall, which is a real sweet spot for a lot of people. I'm wanting to say this thing is like 3.1 ounces, if I remember correctly. And yeah, just a fantastic little knife. Super thin and slicey behind the edge, and really not much bad to say here. And for $200, that's a lot of knife right there. So that one certainly makes the list for, you know, the mid-range, we'll call it, category. All right, so the next one up. This knife is another one that I desperately want this guy to make this in a large version, because I think it would just be phenomenal. This knife right here. So this is the Oakworks. This is designed, and this was made by Riot for Eric Oakes. And awesome guy, does some fantastic designs. He's had some really great designs over the years, but this one here, it's just a sexy knife. There's, you know, in my opinion, it's just got super good lines. It's, yeah, really cool looking knife. So they do offer this in a few different variations. This is the Oakworks Osprey EDX is what this is called. And you can see here there is a little filler tab on this side. The pocket clip is reversible, which is fantastic. And this one, you know, I mean, it's really a tie frame lock. I guess you could kind of call it a bolster lock because of these micarta inlays. And I know that there's actually a handful of these still left and available. I think it's like less than 10 though. So if you're interested in one of these, you can go to Oakworks and pick one up. He had them with carbon fiber inlays. This is the olive drab micarta. And then I think he did slate blue G10. But it's an M390 blade. It's a two-tone satin finish on the blade. Beautiful, beautiful hollow grind on this blade. Action is fantastic. The texturing done on the bolster is just an awesome touch. Everything about this knife is really, really phenomenal. So this thing is rocking a 3 1/4 inch blade, like I think it's like 4.13 inch handle. It's just under 7.5 overall. It's like 7.4 inches overall. And, you know, great size. Like I said, I mean, I would love to see this exact same design with like a 3 3/4 inch blade. Would be absolutely amazing. But it's got a pretty muted flipper tab. Functions perfectly. Action is fantastic. It also has this fuller that absolutely works to Spidey flick it. And that's one thing, you know, for me, if it was just a little bit larger, it would be easier to be able to Spidey flick it. So I certainly can do it. It's just a little bit cramped in my hand, but really it's a phenomenal knife. The pocket clip works perfectly, really slim and slender in the pocket. Yeah, you just can't go wrong. So these things sold for, I think they started, if you got the G10, I'm wanting to say they were $320 maybe. And with the micarta, it was like $330 or something. And then the carbon fiber, I think, was like $350. I'm pretty sure the carbon fiber was sold out, if I remember correctly. But I think you can still get the Slate G10 as well as this micarta here. But it's a fantastic knife. Really, really good one. Just super snappy action. Love the hollow grind. Love the two-tone satin on the blade. I mean, there's just, like I said, the only thing I can complain about this knife is I would just like to see it larger. You know, add a half inch to this thing and it would just be, yeah, fantastic. So really awesome knife. Eric Oakes, you did a bang up job on this thing. I can't give it enough praise because it's just definitely one of my favorites of the year for sure. All right, and now we're getting down to the last one on the list. And you know, these aren't, like I said, I just went from smallest to largest. So this wasn't like a 1, 2, 3. I actually love all three of these knives. But the one I'm about to show you is one that you've seen on my channel multiple times. I picked it up at the same time that I got that Hogue Ballista right there. Actually, I picked it up right before getting that Hogue Ballista. And it's a knife that I definitely wanted to check out as soon as I saw it. I think Nick Shabazz was the first place that I saw it. He had one before they released. And as soon as I saw it, I knew it was going to be something that I really enjoyed. And it happens to be this guy right here. This is the TRM Shadow from Three Rivers Manufacturing. And, you know, over the last few years, people have raved about TRM's knives. Personally, I wasn't super impressed. So the Neutron and the Atom are cool knives, but I felt like they were a little bit overhyped. And this thing right here, yeah, it's fantastic. It really is just a phenomenal EDC knife. Pocket clip is reversible. You can see the filler tab here. I have it set up for right hand carry at the moment, but it is reversible, right hand tip up, right or left hand tip up carry. And all the hardware on this thing is titanium. You're looking at a 20 CV blade. Oh, and if I didn't say, this is M390. But this here is 20 CV, black G10 scales, all titanium hardware, made here in the States. Pocket clip is absolutely fantastic. It works beautifully. It just, yeah, goes in and out of the pocket perfectly. It's everything you would want it to be for a great pocket clip. You know, nothing crazy on the outside. And you know, this knife is really, you know, kind of no frills. I mean, it's just a fantastic EDC knife. Action is wonderful. Personally, I don't really care for TRM's thumb studs. They're not the most comfortable thing. So in my opinion, having the O-rings on them is definitely something that I like. I just like the way it feels better. But, you know, if you're using your fingernail or whatever, you know, probably not a big ordeal. But this thing's got 90 thousandths blade stock, which is fantastic. It's not the sliciest thing in the world, although some people will tell you that. This one here measures about 22 thousandths behind the edge. Not terrible. I would like to see it down and around that, you know, like 12 to 15 thousandths would really be awesome. But it's better than the both the Atom and the Neutrons that I've had. Or no, I had one Neutron, two Atoms. Both of those were like 28 and 30 thousandths behind the edge. So even though they do have very thin blade stock, the primary grinds were not aggressive at all. And so this one definitely could be a little bit more aggressive, but like I said, it's great for an EDC knife. The action is fantastic. Really, really like, they're calling it the River Lock. You know, it's a Benchmade style axis lock. It's fantastic. The way they made it is great. This is something that I thought Benchmade should have done a long time ago, which is make the bar come apart. It would just make, you know, servicing the knife and disassembly so much easier, and it does. So, you know, yeah, they really hit this one out of the park. You know, it's not, in my opinion, it's not a sexy knife like the Osprey EDX. It's just a, you know, more utilitarian. but it's really, really good. Ergos on this thing are fantastic. It's a 3¼ inch blade, I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look. I can't remember. It's been too long since I did any measuring on this thing. No, 3.13. So, you know, not an overly large knife, but damn is it a good one. So I know these things sell out constantly, along with all of TRM stuff. You know, as soon as they hit the streets, I mean, they're gone immediately. When I went to Blade Show down in Atlanta, I specifically wanted to get this knife. This was the first stop that I went to, was the TRM booth, and was able to pick one up. So I think they're 280 bucks, if I remember correctly, for the Shadow. And they did have some special variants that were full titanium handles, but across the board, they're all just black G10. So, you know, not a bunch of options here, but man, is it a good one. So, highly recommend the TRM Shadow. It's just a phenomenal knife. Fully ambidextrous. Works wonderfully right or left-handed. The Oaks work. Osprey EDX, just phenomenal. And the MBK Slayback. So those are my 3 picks for the best knives that came out in 2021. You know, certainly there's higher end stuff. Other people are going to have different opinions. These are my picks. And yeah, we were blessed in 2021. Certainly had a lot of really good stuff out there. And these 3, I think, display it pretty well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I will catch you next time.